Good morning. I wasn't quite sure what was going on there. Let me just double check. Everything's organised here. Yeah, here we go. All good in the hood. So this morning, I wanted to talk about the Heal Scotland membership. So again, just for clarity, for those of you, let me just double check what my right-hand woman told me to cover. Yeah, just so that you get an overview, I think it's very, very clear that what we want from Heal Scotland, there's two main things. One, education, inspiration and support. That all comes possibly more for the people that are willing, ready and able and well enough to take some action themselves. Then the other thing that we need is healing centres where people can actually come and learn, not just learn, because we're moving away from treating people to training people. So, and within that, there lies a level of agency. What are you willing to do to get your health back? Do you really fully understand the energetic nature of the body, which I'm going to be going into in a lot more detail over the next few weeks, as the energy medicine thing wraps up, really starts to get a lot of energy thanks to Joe Rogan, Terence Howard, Eric Weinstein, a lot of this stuff coming into the mainstream now where people are starting to understand the universe is sound, we're an instrument, music, sound, using the sound of our voice, all of that. It's a powerful, powerful part in our staying well, our homeostasis, our balance. So the way I see it is there's two things. There's education centres. Now that can be day centres in the communities, already existing places where we can really get the information that we need out. And there's tons of it that want to keep it very, very simple. Really, for me, it's about what is the body and how do we prevent disease, and how, if we get sick, do we move out of fear and into faith and trust that the body will heal itself when we make the internal and external environment different. Now, what we know, there's a lot of people saying, well, I can do this. There are no gurus. We need to move away from the idea that somebody can fix you. In order to truly have autonomy over this thing, to never ever give your power away again, you need to be equipped and educated. And, you know, education is an interesting thing, especially if you watch that Joe Rogan, Terence and Eric one, you see it all there. The ego, it's like, I'm educated and I can tell you. And I know, being a nutritionist for decades, you can tell people what to eat, but you may not be giving them accurate information based on their internal environment at the time. So we really are, it's a very, very, very massive grey area. So what we have to do is teach people to trust in their own selves, trust in their intuition, and tap into that unified field of information where what is right for you can really be felt and trusted, because most of us don't trust the body anymore. We might even get a flicker of intuition, but somebody else will come in with their point of view and will allow their point of view to override ours. Now, let me tell you, after decades of research and talking to literally thousands of people, what do we know? Lynn McTaggart's research, community and altruism heals. You can have the cleanest diet in the world. If you do not have that, you're probably going to stay, if not in an obvious state of disease, unease, because you're not fulfilling the magnificent, vibrant, connected energy system that you are. So we can say, oh, come to this workshop for a day, do this for an hour, all of that stuff really pales into insignificant. If you look at our elders, my aunt, for example, at 90, never did yoga, never juiced, never did a breathwork session. You know, it's like we get carried away in what we need to do to be well. Now, you know, I believe in all these things, but primarily for trying to regain our health, because we've been bloody well poisoned and polluted. So these things are important, but really ultimately for greater levels of joy and purpose, it's going to be found in your community. And that's why the solution to Heal Scotland is not going to be found in one person. It's going to be found inside you and inside your community. Now, already we're seeing people tribing up and getting together to breathe, getting together to drum, getting together to knit, to crochet, to play music. That's what we need. And, you cannot do that on your own. Some people thrive very well on their own. I can for a period of time, but I'm definitely a very obvious social being. And I get so much energy from other beings. I just spent the weekend in Wales. Two of my friends were over from Germany, and other women that I met, and just had an amazing time sparking ideas, talking about all things that are relative to us. And obviously it was a great goddess gathering, so women in particular and the issues that we found. And again, what I really like, Amy came on at the end, and it's like, we need to balance the masculine and the feminine. We're way past male bashing and, burning our bras and getting our tits out. All of that, we're now like, right, where do we go from here? Because from a Heal Scotland perspective, our most challenging thing is going to be loving each other without judgment. I'm still working on that myself. So with the membership, and I need to make it clear the way that Heal Scotland set up, it's a social enterprise, it's a not-for-profit. Anybody that knows me knows we cannot have our health entangled in money. Look what's happened. And we cannot withhold information from people because they can't afford it. That's just wrong in my book, and I think pretty much everybody's book. It's a social enterprise. I take no wage out of it. So every penny you get, we pay Kirsten, who is a consultant, and she does a lot of work way, way, way above and beyond. She absolutely, this is not a business. This is a movement. This is a passion, a purpose, because we truly, truly believe that this information should be available to everyone. And that now that we have all the data, all the science that we could ever need, now we're like that. We need to create the spaces. Now, Heal Scotland is a real umbrella for people doing amazing things in the community, and it's absolutely not about competition. There is plenty for all. We need breathworks instructors, probably half a dozen in every single village, so that we can really help people to manage their emotions with breathwork. So competition has to come out of it, and fear and backstabbing and bringing other people down. The blame and shame and complaining mentality, which still goes on in the alleged spiritual world, we have to welcome that and let it go. We're moving into this new story. I'm on with Vida B next week. We'll be talking about that in much more depth. How do we collaborate ourselves in the body? If they're not collaborating to keep us well, we will experience disease. This idea of them, they, and I do this. I was doing it when my friend was in hospital. They did this to him. And then I was like, oh, no. That is not how we create harmony, them and us. And that's the divide and conquer strategy is ancient. So I'm rattling on here, but I'm on one about what we need to create and what we are going to create. So we need healing centres, a healing oasis. The way I see it is we need a major mothership where people can come. Now, this is maybe not happening next year, but maybe it is, who knows? Where people can come. Our hospitals now, God bless our nurses and doctors in there. I don't know how they do it. It's an ICU situation. Go in, get what you need and come back out. A lot of people live on their own now. They're having major surgery and then getting put back into their own homes where no care, no love, no attention, none of that. So we need a place where people like that can come. You used to get that in your village hospital. I don't even think, maybe you're lucky you get that in your place. But in general now, you're called a bed blocker and they want you out because literally there's so many people needing these beds. So a situation has been created. Plus they're trying to push us private. So people are paying to get their body parts replaced, etc. That's not really a brilliant strategy either. Not with information that we have now about the parasites and how we can heal a lot of the disease once we understand that it's just our ecosystem is completely out of balance. Once we rebalance it, we start to feel well. We're not, is this body even a body? It's crazy what we're discovering now about gravity, about parasites, viruses, prions, worms, all of that people do not like to hear about. You imagine that whole ecosystem that goes all with the digestive system, what lives on and in there. We need to know that information. We're going to get this out to you as simply as possible because I understand that not everybody can afford to speak to somebody about their gut biome. But if you can, it's a really good idea to do that. What we need to do is free up all the stress from the NHS so that they can go on with doing what they are brilliant at, which is repairing things that have gone beyond our capacity to repair, or a car accident or whatever. So the membership idea is to stream more revenue to create the healing centres. Now, the way I see it is we can have day centres, we can have pop-up centres like what we're doing in Skye. So we can provide a lot of the information for free. Now, not everybody's going to want this information. I totally understand that. A lot of people not that understanding yet that the system's fucked. Excuse the language, but there is no other word for it. That we have been infiltrated by the psychotic financial entities, and we do not know what to trust anymore. And it's a real shame, because I know that most people in these hospitals, and you go in with the best of intentions, and it's just been basically taken over. And they don't care about our health, they care about the profits and the power. And that is a situation that we have to take our power back. We participate in that relationship. Like any narcissistic relationship can only happen to you if you're there. So we have to get our big girl and boy pants on, pull them up, and we have to take responsibility back. Because if we don't, there could be a horrible price to pay at the end. I don't know, I'm 64 now, I'm looking at the care system going, this is creaking under the seams. It ain't going to be there by the time, if I was ever to need it. I would just starve myself out of here, I think. That's my plan anyway. So, but what can we do, particularly to look after our old people, which is really one of my biggest passions, that we're just the way we're not caring for them or whatever. And I get all the reasons why I've done it. It's the hardest thing in a million years that I've ever done. And I know it's just not possible for a lot of people. But how do we address that? How can we be honest and say we have a situation here that is not good? And that's what we're looking at now. That's what the Heal Scotland message is about. This is not about, think about a nice business idea. It's not about that at all. It's about a groundswell, a movement. People are waking up, and that was the big favour that COVID, much as I kicked and screamed my way through that, every single thing that Nicola Sturgeon said, I completely disagreed with, because from a natural health perspective, it was the complete opposite of what we should be doing. And I know that a lot of people are still reeling from that, and we're just starting to see the damage they did, especially to young children in schooling and our old people, and the guilt that people are feeling because of how they behaved, because they were terrorised. So, but it's woken people up to go, oh, what's going on here? So the membership, we're looking at, Kirsten's done an incredible amount of research to see what's the best way to do it. Can you give a few pounds a month? All the money will be totally transparent, and we're looking at ways of where we can just say, well, that money will go to a healing oasis. That money will go to a pop-up healing centre in your community. And can you actively get involved? And we prepare and give you all the information and the teachers that you need. When we open the healing centre in Skye, the HEB Heal In, we are going to stream a lot of these courses that are not private and personal out live to everybody. So you can, and if you have a studio, you can actually get people round and they can learn for free, or you can learn it in your own house. It's kind of nice to do it in a group. I tell you why, because that's how you start to break and create the new habit, break the old and create the new habits. And that's what's going to be called for. We know we have all the knowledge. You can go on Google, you can go on YouTube, you can find anything you need. But the reality is it's action that we need. What action are you going to take and sustain? And you have to be thinking the long game. 2 years. That if we have an earthquake, whatever, a tsunami, an oil spill, we know that we don't redress that imbalance of the eco disaster in a day. It takes time to regenerate. The body's so intelligent. Nobody heals you. The intelligence, the body heals itself. Can other people help you? Of course they can. But in general, you have that. And this is what Heal Scotland's about. It's about waking you up to the power within and not giving your power away to anyone. Oh, I'm the guru. That day is gone. We have to be empowering people. There's far too many people sick now for us. There's not enough healers around. And a lot of people, like the way my health has been the last couple of months, I couldn't help anybody. So we have to learn how to help ourselves. We're totally, I believe, sparks of divine, sacred intelligence, and we're waking up to that power that we have within. And that is the mission for Heal Scotland, is not to give you more gurus and more people and go there, they've got the magic pill, they've got the magic cure. That doesn't work. Look, we've got more drugs and pills and supplements than we've ever had, and people are sicker than ever. And is faith playing a part in that? Have we lost hope, lost purpose? That's again what we want to give you back. We've got 2 goddess gatherings in Dalkeith Country Park, an amazing venue, in November. We're going to have the Heb Healing pop-up centre January and February. We have 2 amazing festivals coming up. We've sold about 60 tickets already. I'm so excited about that. In Skye, that amazing landmass, and in Tarbert. Now, I'm aware that Skye is not demographically handy for everyone. John offered me the hotel for a couple of months over the winter when he was closed, just covering the expenses, which is a phenomenal offer. And you can get a bus directly to Skye from Glasgow. So, yeah, I'm sorry, if it was my way and it was unlimited budget, these healing centres would already have popped up everywhere, but it's a work in progress. We will, with your help, create these places all over the country. There's need to be one in every village, and maybe a few, and certainly a few across the cities. I don't know if you've been in a hospital recently, but basically I've been in Aberdeen Royal Infirmary, and it was nothing against that hospital. It's massive and it's beautiful, and I'm looking around going, oh my God, look at the state of us, the human bodies and all the machines, and yeah. And it's just like there's something way out of balance here. And there's no way we can take people out of hospitals and put them into healing oases yet. There's so many people unwell. I don't know what the numbers are. I'm too scared to even look anymore. But we're going to start. It's just like, we really have to just start the seedling of the first healing oasis, which will be in nature, utilising all the science that we have. Now, I don't have autonomy over who lives and who dies, but some people will die. But you want to do that again with dignity, with grace, with humility, with your family around you, and understanding it's a pretty magnificent transition that we're all going to go through. What does it even mean? Let's talk about this thing we call death, and let's get a lot more graceful around how we do it. And also talking about it to our loved ones. Anyway, I've totally gone off topic, haven't I? I'm just blabbering on here about let me just get back to what Kirsten told me to say. Yeah, so we're trying to create an online space with the same vibrancy as the in-person events, right? Because we totally we need a place where people can learn, connect and share, and we'll always provide free value. Nobody will go without when it comes to the Heal Scotland, absolutely nobody. We are 100%, we need to generate revenue to help fund the healing centres. Ideally, what we would do is and I need to get Neil McEnroe involved, McEnroy, the kind of community wealth building, keeping the money in our communities. Everybody's going to have to get involved in this. You can't just sit back and go, oh, that's shite, there's nothing on here. No, it's all right for her. All the claptrap that I hear, you, if you're listening to this, are part of this, part of the change. And we have to take action. What is going on? They're trying to take Lochinvar's organic garden. No, absolutely not. We just all get together and say, no, enough organic food in our city. Are you having a laugh? You're taking that away. What are we doing? Enough people have to go, sorry, this is not happening. People power, it's happening already, but it doesn't happen unless we get off our arses and stand up for what we believe in. Not just for us. I'm going to be out of here in a few years, maybe a decade or so. But, my grandchildren are coming through. What are we leaving for them? We're just sitting back complaining, blaming and shaming. No. We're now into the new story. No more victimhood. No more blaming the government, blaming the councils. We stand up and we say, no, we are growing food. We are going to farm. We're going to give our farmers back the place in our community and lives that they so rightfully deserve and need. The honour and respect for looking after our animals, for creating organic, live food that helps the human body to thrive. And that's what we have to do. And that is going to take courage. You're going to have to speak out. You're going to have to actually take action. What can you do in your community? Are you going out and supporting? Or are you an armchair warrior going, oh, that'd be great. This is what you should do. No more of that. Action orientated. And you, even if you're disabled, you can still share events. You can still talk out. You can sign petitions. You need to take action. Now is the time. It's an uprising of people, the peaceful revolution, where we're just going, we've had enough. Our health is being destroyed, and our land has been taken over by nut jobs, and there's people that are so unconscious making decisions for us, and they will continue to do so if you don't take action. So anyway, that's not what I came on to talk about, but that's what came out. So the membership, please fill in the surveys that Kirsten's put out and feed back to us, not from a victim place and not from a place of what I should do, but from what a place of what is good for the collective, that's good for everybody. What can everybody do, not just me? And at this moment, I've got a board, but generally speaking, I'm driving this. I cannot absolutely, as I've already said, if I could heal Scotland myself, it would have been done by now. This is about rallying the masses, rallying the troops, working together, get the egos out the way, stop going on about how good you are and start looking about how amazing other people are. Community and altruism is how we do this, being of service, looking after each other. Now is the time. So look at yourself. What are you doing? What are you doing to help? Did you sign that petition? Did you donate the £3? And what are you willing to do? Whether it's Heal Scotland or not, it's some other there's amazing stuff going on all over the country. But make sure you're participating and putting your energy behind something that matters. Heal Scotland is a platform for the people, by the people. We will create pop-up healing centres all over the country. That's already underway. But what can you do to help? Is there a place in your community? Do you have a small studio where you could stream our courses out live? Get this information to the masses for free. All you have to do is actually want it. Your desire has to be there. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to speak out. You have to be absolutely open-minded, because not everything you're going to hear is going to completely resonate with you at first. You have to trust the resources. You have to do your own research, not just blindly believe everything I say. I'm a human. Everything's filtered through my stuff. And I get really angry at a lot of things, which is not great, but it drives me. It drives me when I've been in that hospital watching what my friend's just gone through. It drives me. After I get over the pain and the fear and all the stuff that you have when you watch somebody going through such horrific situations, it drives you to go, right, okay, what are we going to do about this? Because I cannot blame the others. We cannot blame the others. And what I do know is, from every single spark that's listening to this all over the world, when we light up and look, we create a power grid, an energy source that is literally peaceful and unstoppable. And that's what has to happen now. No more blaming Bill Gates or Fauci. We've allowed these people, because we're a wee bit lazy, took our eye off the ball, didn't bother with the politics, thought everybody was going to be doing the right thing. No. So now we're in the situation in Scotland. There's only 5.5 million or so of us. We have a lot of work to do, and we all have to play a part in that. So please, that was a very long way of saying, get involved and start really looking at in your communities. What can you do? Can you do something for free? Can you give back? Can you totally and utterly realise that now is the time for change? Right, I'm getting off because I realise I'm ranting now. Please share, like, spread the word, look in your own communities, see what you can do, fill in the membership form, donate if you can, please. You can go into our charity, you can come on the board, you can see what we're doing with the money. We will 100% be serving you guys. That's it. You need to know how powerful you are, and we need to get back to our communities. It's that simple. Educate, inspire, support, and then create these amazing healing oases in nature with the most phenomenal cutting edge technology. We've got it all. Now we just need action. Anyway, huge love and have a wonderful day. Ciao.